Good evening, everyone. I'm Erin. I'm more likely to bruise myself on table edges than to feel super edgy, so I'll roll with it and get edgier as we go on. First of all, I'd like to ask everyone a quick question. Can everyone who is a parent raise your hands? Can everyone who comes from parents raise your hand? So parenthood is important to all of us. And I have a question for all of you. Have any of you actually seen a yummy mummy? I hear it's like a Yeti, but in granny panties or maybe a cupless bustier. It might be a tall glass of MILF or a round-bellied yoni, maybe a smart phony pushing a $1,000 stroller, waging wars of consumption on a world that leaves her hungry constantly to stay hors d'oeuvre tasty. But maybe the yummy mummy's home-cooked and left over. In the morning, she serves burnt toast to her success after a Christmas party where they ask her what she does, and she says, homemaker, and they say, see, it's the most important job, but also apparently the least filling. And I mean, sketchy mummies aren't yummy because they're snorting blow in the bathroom while their kids make suspect snack plans online, but well, what about mummies who are just blind tired or wired on caffeine? Because that's most mummies. What about daddies who must also be mummies? Are they yummy? I need to stop hunting candy fantasies. See, real mummies are not a meal. They're an endless stream of them. They're overworked, they're underpaid, they're trained to stifle distress under this PG, PTA, pretend it's all okay cartoon mask. So on the playground, this button-up, button-down looks me up and down and says, I never have guessed you were a mother. You know what? I don't think mom genes give you pregnancy, because I am a mommy. I'm just flipping off these saccharine scrapbooks of Banana Republic breastfeeding and cloth diapers and preschool report cards and luxury minivans, fake tan and Zumba and entertainment book drives, because that's about when I break out in hives. I'm thinking maybe I'm allergic to the yummy mummy. See, I know in prenatal class, they all made paper mache ball gags, but my mouth was too big. And when they safety scissored the eye out of the mother icon and put sparkles on the con that remained, I said I didn't want glitter lung. Instead, I've got this hot glue gun that'll stick all sorts of unlikely identities together, but you know, it won't hold stale social orders or gag orders because I am not a floor-cleaning, self-demeaning, clitorally unsatisfied, Martha Stewart humping, name-dumping, bonbon, yummy mummy. I am a mother. Damn straight. See, I put it on business cards because it's my most important business. It's not a fallback job. It's not a stripper costume. Good mothers and fathers are chiefs of Golding's imaginary island. We are flunkies for power mad CEOs. That's children exercising outrage. We rhyme with the back seat. We sacrifice quiet and neat. We're fresh meat for Girl Scouts, for back of the room seating, for parent-teacher meetings, for frantic can't find them at the store hearts beating. We are every day as a weekday and puke all over the car on the freeway. We're bards, we're barristers, we're card sharks so the kid can win. We are lost with an empty grin and an empty cup, and sometimes we don't want to do it all, be it all for someone else, but you know, good mothers and fathers do. We get up, what, 5 hours later, and we put out cereal and milk. There's not a MILF in sight. See, parenthood is a heaven and a hell of a job. It's the work of a lifetime. It is just like poetry. It's vital to society. The pay is terrible. But if you're good at it, you're not doing it for money. And it's an awful lot more than yummy. So, for myself as a woman, I feel like a big part of embracing my womanhood, but relinquishing a lot of the misogyny and the social structure that can go on, comes from taking labels apart, like I just did. And for me, that was a really big process that went down a couple of years ago when I was very sick. And it was the process basically that took me from being a girl who thought she was a woman into a woman properly. But in the process, I questioned everything. Because when I lost my breasts to cancer, I wondered if I was still a woman. Because in 2 weeks, my bouncing globes of sexy star culture were sacrificed to lab cultures of gender betrayal. And cold drinks, they stung my exposed sternum. I could see the floor when I looked down. But I could still glimpse heavens when I raised my head, and at night I howled and I held myself very much like a woman. Now when I lost my hair and my brows and my lashes to chemotherapy, I wondered if I was still a woman. See, the goldenrod pamphlets in the waiting room, they don't point out that you lose follicles everywhere. Your body's sent back to youth, moon-faced smooth, and false lashes fall off without a natural lash line. I called my sisters sobbing when they fell. So much heat it escapes from a naked head, so I wore a lime green afro on St. Patrick's Day, and I wore lines of coal around my eyes so people would recognize my point of view. And look better, feel better, they said. They said, look better, feel better. They said, better was who I used to be. So they gave me boxes of makeup to make up for worse. And every morning I painted my goddess back on and I prayed that things would get better, very much like a woman. Now when I lost my period to platinum for a year and 56 days, I wondered if I was still a woman, because I was night sweating decades into the sheets. And I dreamt I was this barren egg, rebirthed sci-fi Matrix style, and I woke wondering if I was anything at all. I worried that I'd never be satisfied. Very much like a woman. Now when the blood and the hair and the breasts returned to a greater or lesser degree, I wondered if I was still a woman. See, did plastic parts count? How much blood turns tides back to the moon? It was puberty revisited, because my monthly visitor was a gift, and then swiftly a curse again. And I spent 2 years waiting like Godot for surgery, and after I got my new boobs, I swore they would not be a pin-up centerfold, they'd be a gallery mural. Because parts, they're only parts. They aren't foxtrot definitions, so I can rewrite worlds endlessly. And even my heart can be removed surgically as necessary to lay in the right hands. Now I'm not sugar and spice and everything nice. I'm not pink ribbons. I'm not elite weekend charities. I'm not tits or tail or stale expectations. I might choose to accessorize with the jeweled crosses of 2 X chromosomes, but I am Erin Alana Entenbrink Dingle. I am a partner. I am a parent. I am a lover. I am a friend. I am a poet. I'm saving my life one breath at a time, and I'm a woman. Because I am. One of the things that really helped me mature into womanhood and move past very difficult experiences was writing and poetry and people like Sherry D, who did amazing things for me. And my daily writing practice, which is one of the only things I've been vigilant about daily, has done wonderful things for me. So my last piece tonight is part of my daily writing practice from this past week. So it's something quite brand new. And it's talking about how sometimes there are big issues that are important, and sometimes there are issues that we choose to make important, maybe more as a diversion from the things we should really be thinking about. Because all my friends, they're either tearing their hair out or they're braiding it. It's hipster versus hippie in a fight over follicles. But you know, I care more about public affairs than pubic hair. I care more about shady trading than shady underarms. I care more about clean consciences than clean shaven. I care more about splitting the difference than splitting hairs. And if I push past the burning bush lists of celebrity prophets, whether I shave a few steps off my morning routine and stubble out the door, or flick the furry from my slick, chic skin, well, it makes no difference. Because if I apply Occam's razor, this whole discussion is subject to laser removal, because the simplest conclusion is to worry about more important things. Like if a body is healthy, like if a body is happy, not if a body is hairy. But my one friend, she says the magic carpet is medically outdated and smooth is just sexier. During chemotherapy, I spent 6 months with a hairless hipster cat twitching outside my cave. I did not feel sexier. But my other friend, now she says bikini lines are social battle lines and natural shores are just sexier. After chemotherapy, I spent 6 months with a fuzzy hippie bear vegetating outside my cave. Or maybe it was vegetating. I did not feel sexier. See, I'm pretty sure my sexy, it goes from root to tip, with or without them. So maybe I'll just let all the rules go. I'll grow a mullet down the back of my right thigh. I'll put a soul patch in the crack of my ass. I'll bleach arrows in every direction on the fine down of my arms, and I'll tweeze my eyebrows into question marks, or a deer chasing a wolf across my furrowed brow. And I will pad my lower nose cozy with a handlebar mustache for holding, or a goatee for the animal in me, or an Errol Flynn pencil for creativity, or Fu Manchu to play arch enemy, mutton as lamb chops when I want to be led, or Wolfman when I want to be left alone. Perhaps even just a simple landing strip when I don't want to be an island anymore, or even Brazilian for tropical masochism. But meanwhile, see, I drag implant stretched tendons and scars aside. I contort myself like a circus freak to keep this right underarm full moon crazy because it gets itchy. And I usually don't bother with my legs at all because I'm lazy, and if you don't like it either way, tough luck. Because a tangled Canadian beaver dam is not going to stem the flow of repressive beauty conditioning. And in this part of the world, we need to wear as many layers as we need to wear. So I bought a new box of Venus at the drugstore with 4 blades for maiden, mother, crone, and consumer. See, Occam was out of stock, but I wanted to wear a tank top, and I was thinking about more important things, like Stephen Harper. He's smooth as a baby's ass, with hair like a merkin and a razor tongue. Scissors that cut social care without style, harem-scarum politics, and religious beards all over everything. And that's the sort of turnoff to actually pay attention to here, people. Because I mean, even a hairy back is sexier than that. Thank you.